we know who's on right now?
We don't. Good morning. This is Peter. We're just looking to determine who is indeed at the meeting. Is Supervisor Wild? Did I see you? Did I hear you?
I am here, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for
Whitehead, are you here?
I'm here.
Jack Diamond, are you here? I see Gene Merlino. He is here. Supervisor McGowan, are you here? Supervisor Leggett, are you here?
I am here.
And myself, obviously, in attendance.
So in addition, Chairman, Jim Siplon from the Warren County EDC and Attorney Terwilliger.
Okay, thank you.
On Zoom, I believe, is Linda Oldenburg as well.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, welcome, Linda.
And
and we
Lisa.
have Lisa, we have Don Lehman, and we have John Wheatley.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. And also we have Travis Whitehead online too.
No, we got him.
Okay.
I guess you call it the order then.
I will call the committee meeting to order, and this was our annual meeting to elect officers and to approve a number of organizations as they relate to the day-to-day operation of our LDC. Basically, as we all know, I am the current chairman. Matt Simpson used to be our vice chairman, and I believe that when Jack Diamond was appointed, I think moved into Matt Simpson's slot. Our current treasurer is Craig Leggett. Our current secretary is the Brad McGowan, and our assistant treasurer is Gene Merlino. So I think what I'm looking for is a motion to I guess start with chairman. Okay, and can we get a motion to approve our chairman?
Well, you can actually do it as a full slate if you wish.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make that motion. It's Mike Wild to approve the whole slate.
Okay, thank you, Mike. And that slate would be McDevitt as chairman, vice chairman Jack Diamond, treasurer Craig Leggett, Secretary Brad McGowan, and assistant treasurer Gene Merlino. Thank you, Supervisor Wild. Can I get a second for that motion?
I'll second by
Leggett.
Travis.
Supervisor Merlino. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We now have our new board.
Can we have a roll call of that, please?
Okay, why don't we have a roll call? The Supervisor Merlino.
Here.
Supervisor Diamond. Supervisor Leggett.
Yes.
Supervisor as chairman, I would be a yes also. So that would be 1, 2, 3. But that would be a quorum. Okay.
You still need to do it.
So you can continue through the list.
What's that?
You can continue through the list, get their votes.
Okay. So any also Supervisor Wild.
Yes.
Yes.
Affirmative.
And did I say Supervisor Leggett? Yes.
Yes.
Supervisor Merlino? Yes. Did not hear from McGowan or did not hear from Diamond. So,
And Travis.
And Travis.
and Travis. Yes. I'm sorry, Travis.
Yes, Travis is a yes.
Yes. Thank you, Travis. I appreciate that. So that being done, the next issue would be a resolution appointing members of the committee, appointing members of the governance committee of the board of directors. And can can we get a motion to in the slate that I see here are the board of directors of the governance committee would be Supervisor Diamond, Supervisor McGowan, and Supervisor Leggett. Can I get a motion to that effect?
Mike Wild, I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Michael. Seconded by Supervisor Merlino. All those in favor?
Or
Aye.
do roll call?
Thank you.
You got to do a roll call,
Yes,
unfortunately.
yes. Can I have a roll call? That would be, so Supervisor Merlino,
Yes.
Supervisor McGowan, Supervisor Leggett,
Yes.
Supervisor Diamond, Supervisor Wild,
Yes.
and Travis Whitehead.
Yes.
Yes. So just that,
And then you.
and myself as a yes. Okay, our next issue would be appointing members of our Audit and Finance Committee as a member of the Board of Directors. And the slate would be Supervisor Merlino, Supervisor Leggett, and Supervisor Diamond. Supervisor Merlino,
Yes.
Supervisor McGowan, Supervisor Leggett,
Yes.
Supervisor Diamond, Supervisor McDevitt, yes. Supervisor Wild,
Sorry, yes.
yes, thank you, Supervisor Wild, and Mr. Whitehead.
Yes.
Thank you very much. The next issue would be to appoint the members of the Audit and the Finance Committee, and those would be,
I think you just did.
okay, I just did that, okay. The next issue would be resolved that the EFPR group is hereby designated as the certified public accountant / auditor for the Warren County Local Development Corporation. Supervisor Merlino,
Yes.
Supervisor Leggett,
Yes.
myself, yes. Supervisor Wild,
Yes.
Travis Whitehead,
Yes.
the Supervisor Diamond, Supervisor McGowan. Thank you very much. The matter carries. And our last issue would be it resolved that Mary E. Cassane, Warren County Attorney, and Robert Terwilliger, Warren County First Assistant County Attorney, be and hereby are designated as General Counsel for the Warren County Local Development Corporation.
Is it appropriate to simply make that Robert right now?
May I suggest we do it by office, and we can leave out the name, that you have the county attorney and the first.
Is to simply say whoever is acting as the county attorney.
Whoever's in the county attorney's office.
Okay. So basically, the resolution then will be, Jim, whoever is in the position of responsibility in the county attorney's office are designated as general counsel for the Warren County Local Development Corporation. Supervisor Merlino,
Yes.
Supervisor Leggett,
Yes.
Supervisor Wild,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
myself, yes. The matter carries. Is there anything else?
I don't believe either of the other require a vote. It's simply that we must designate any other resources that are used. So the listing of the banks that we currently have accounts with, and the listing of a legal entity that we have ever received legal counsel for, external legal counsel, are simply documented for the record.
Okay. So are we going to document them specifically?
They are in the documents that we will file, but there is no motion required because you're not selecting them. That's simply a reference for us to report to the state that they currently provide services to the LDC.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other issues, Jim, or is that?
Well, so then the next thing would be the approval of the annual report.
Okay. Okay,
This is the package of full materials that are required by the ABO and Paris guidelines. It's similar to, it's exactly the same, honestly, as has been submitted in previous years, however, updated with the current information and dates.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Supervisor Merlino makes that motion, seconded by,
Supervisor Leggett,
thank you Supervisor Leggett. Can I get a roll call vote? Supervisor Merlino?
Discussion.
Oh, sure, go ahead. Yeah.
There are two elements in there
Who's
that,
talking?
this is Travis Whitehead. There are two elements in there that I have concerns with. One is probably can simply be taken care of. There's a statement that the procurement guidelines are on the website. If they are, I can't find them. So I'd like that to be verified. The other one is a much larger concern, and that is on the annual report. Each of our loans is mentioned. There are several important aspects of each loan, the value of the loan, but most importantly, also the number of jobs that were created. And in each case, that's blank and has been blank. And I don't believe we're doing our fiduciary duties if we do go ahead and send it up as blanks, because jobs is probably the number one issue we have.
Like me to comment on that.
Jim, would you like to comment on that, or any other supervisors?
So let me walk the entire board through the process by which this package was constructed. As you all know, I inherited this job halfway through the previous year. So our standing approach was not to change anything without overt consensus and agreement with the board. So in this case, what we've done is carry forward all of the previous policies and processes unless there was an overt discussion to do otherwise. The same is true with all of the documentation associated with the previous loan portfolio. The only thing that we have provided constructive updates to are the two loans that were provided in the past year. We've provided information in both the annual report and any other deliverable that references them with the information that is required. So to the extent that Mr. Whitehead is pointing out that the jobs generated by any previous loan, if it was blank before, it remains blank. And I simply did that because it would take an overt activity of the board to decide to constructively change that. But we have had discussion about how we will evaluate loans going forward. In fact, Mr. McDevitt and I met with Mr. Whitehead and discussed this last week. It's the position of the staff of the EDC that we would use a combination of approaches, including and primarily led by personal engagement. So for the two loan portfolios that were, or loans that were given in the past year, we've had extensive engagement with those entities personally, including visits on site and ongoing meetings with the business. To the extent that there's any question about the economic activity about them, I think we're in a position to do that. In fact, we brought members of the board with us to do that. Mr. McDevitt, I believe that you attended Kirsch Helmets on more than one occasion, actually, with both Ed and then subsequently when we went to visit. So I want to make sure you understand what our approach is. Our approach is to continue to provide you with robust views on the viability of any business, including their employment. But it's also important to understand that despite any potential discussion otherwise, there is no overt requirement for there to be job growth in order for us to allow for a loan. That is one of the many criteria that we use to evaluate whether or not to grant them a loan.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Can I comment on that?
Sure, go ahead, Travis.
So I am opposed to, well, first of all, we have 60 days to get this up there. It's not due tomorrow. And I'd like to take that time in order to get this right. And I believe you can get this right, or at least closer to being right. But when there's a form here that says, for instance, I'm looking at the first one, 59 Lake, was the loan expected to result in new jobs being created? The answer is yes. And the next one says, if yes, how many jobs were planned to be created? And the answer is 3. If yes, how many jobs have been created to date? And that's blank. And that's blank on every one. I agree that there may or may not have been any plans to create the jobs before we accepted this, and that's not a hard and fast criteria, though to me, I believe it's a very large criteria. But it certainly says very clearly that if the answer to the above is yes, then you need to answer this question. And it apparently have not answered this question for some years. So I would say, starting today, I think we should find that now it's been pointed out. I think everybody here should have some concerns about sending in things blank, and we should get that taken care of. Now, the IDA did this very easily by looking at what New York State said, and New York State has all that information. I happen to have one employee. That employee spends almost as much time with the state, making sure they understand about taxes and everything that's going on, as she does in any other thing that she might do. Every company must do this. I don't have a problem with going in and physically looking around and seeing what you see, but you can't tell me that you can say, okay, by sight, that guy is a full-time employee or a part-time employee or off the books. But to New York State, that would be important. And since New York State and other taxpayers are the ones that foot the bills here, I believe that, looking at the data that they are required to submit is something that, at least going forward, we ought to require. And at this point, we should at least try in our best way in the next 60 days to make sure that these things are not blank when they are uploaded to the state.
May
Jim,
I respond? Thank you, Chairman. The annual report that is submitted with the financials, which is, I think, the 3rd or 4th page in the package here, specifically addresses the number of loan inquiries, applications, those that were approved, those that were denied, the jobs that were created, and the jobs that were retained for those that were granted within the loan portfolio in the past year. That is what is statutorily required, and that is what is being provided here.
No, it's
I think
not.
what is-
It's not current. I mean, if you haven't taken a
Travis,
census,
Let Jim finish, please.
What I'm explaining is that the 2 loans that were granted in the past year, there has been explicit back and forth with the companies, and the jobs retained and the jobs produced have been provided for those 2 loans. What I am clearly communicating to the board is, if in the previous submissions there was nothing submitted, I cannot go back in time and create that. So essentially what we are submitting is what has always been submitted. And going forward for the year 2020, there is indeed a full accounting for the jobs created for the 2 loans that were granted during that year. I would suggest that continue to be the approach that we take going forward. I do not know that it's appropriate for us to go back and retroactively add jobs for previous years. And so I'm not sure that there is a way to constructively resolve that. The other point that was made was that there would be no consequence if we did not file these documents by the 31st. While I cannot say equivocally that that's not the case, I can tell you that the counsel that we are provided by very expensive attorneys, including those that are referenced in the retained professionals in this package, is that to not submit this application package by the 31st of March is to invite scrutiny from the state.
may I respond?
Okay, one last comment, Travis, and then there is a motion on the floor. So let's try to wrap it up if we can, please.
Mr. Chairman, it's Mike Wild. If I can get a chance to comment.
Okay, thank you.
I absolutely agree with Jim. It doesn't make sense to try to go backwards. We have this going forward, and going backwards, we run the risk of fabricating numbers that can't be validated or verified. So my suggestion is we just move on and move forward. Thank you.
So I have never
Travis, please.
asked for this to go backwards. I just pointed out that in the past, this has never been done. However, if you go ahead and submit this today, then you will not be able to go backwards and say anything about 2020. Whereas if you take the guidance that is on the ABO website at this very moment that says that there's a 60 days grace period that has, because of the COVID, has been put up there. And if you take advantage of that 60 days, and which you have, you can verify that if you do. It's right there on the ABO website. Then we will not have to go backwards, because 60 days from now, when you start finding out that these things are not right, you're going to be able to say exactly what was already been said. You can't go backwards. And right now, if we go ahead and put this up today, we will be putting up numbers that, well, we're not putting up any numbers. We're not putting up. You say this might get scrutiny. It might get scrutiny if you leave things blank or if you put up falsehoods. And at this point, clearly, we're not following the instructions.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor, and if I can just kind of recap a
Can
little
you
bit.
stop for a second, Chairman? Craig,
go
you have a
ahead, yes.
question?
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes, I'm a little confused, but we seem to be on the mission and measurement report, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and that's what's before us on the screen here that you have up, Linda, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I'm not catching what Travis is referring to, because I see that there's new jobs committed for creation and jobs retained on this annual report.
None of which have been verified.
I personally verified these.
Usually in the first year, these people are just getting things running, and it's usually waived. I mean, if they don't make, they say, we expect to have 10 new employees. Well, in the first year, you might only have 2, and that's perfectly acceptable. What you should be doing is, a couple years in, if they said 10 and there's only 2, that needs to be reported.
In fact, that was the case. What they had originally projected when they took the loan and what they created were 2 different numbers. I am reporting what has actually been validated.
Where did these numbers come from for each one? How do you say, so jobs retained 3. This is for 1. I'm looking at this thing. What loan am I looking at?
Hey, there is a motion on the floor. We've had a second, and I'm going to call for a vote. And I'm going to no more discussion on this issue. I think we've had enough of it. Again, we have a motion and a second, and we ought to vote. So basically, there was a motion that we approve the mission and measurement report, a report on accomplishment and projects in the board performance evaluation. We'll have a roll call vote.
So this is for the full package of the annual report, including the audited financials?
That's correct, yes. Supervisor Merlino, a roll call.
Aye.
Aye. Supervisor Wild,
Aye.
Supervisor Leggett,
yes.
Supervisor McDevitt, yes. It does indeed.
You can ask Travis, though.
You better ask me.
I'm sorry, Travis. Yes or no, Travis?
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you.
Motion passes 4-1.
The motion passes 4-1. We now have a resolution approving the 2019 investment report and guidelines.
Actually, I don't think you do.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Linda, is there any other order of business that we?
Yes, we need to review and reaffirm the 7 policies. Policy governing use of discretionary funds, compensation, reimbursement, and attendance, code of ethics, whistleblower, travel, defense and indemnification, and conflict of interest.
Okay, can I get a motion to get that on the floor?
So move.
Supervisor Leggett, seconded by Supervisor Merlino. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, Supervisor Leggett.
I'm trying to find it through the 22 documents that were sent through. Thank you very
Sorry.
much, Linda, for pulling them all together. That's a lot of work to get them onto our table here. Appreciate all that effort. There was just a typo I wanted to point out,
Okay.
and I can't find it right now. It wasn't anything material or substantial.
When you find it, please let me know. And I will.
Okay, thank you.
That being said, can I get a motion to get that on the floor?
I think it's been,
You did it already.
yeah, you got a motion in a second.
Oh,
You
okay.
ready for a vote?
We're ready for a vote. Supervisor Merlino,
Aye.
Supervisor Leggett,
Aye.
Supervisor Wild,
Aye.
and myself as an aye. Travis.
Aye.
Thank you, Travis. The matter carries. Linda, is there anything else that we have to deal with this morning?
How about we need to go to the approval of investment report and policy.
So I want to make sure I understand. Each one of these items has to have a specific,
Motion and seconded and roll call.
okay. So each of the numbered items, we have to go through that.
Okay, I don't see it in front of me.
Can we put that up? Linda, can you put the agenda up so we can see the numbered items?
You got it.
So the next one is the approval of the investment report and policy.
Right. Okay.
I don't have it in front of me, Jim.
There, I've got it.
Whistleblower policy. Travel policy. Procurement.
And everything was sent to you in line with the agenda.
Investment policy.
Okay, so
I'm going to hand it to Chairman McDonough.
Looks to be blank to me.
No,
there's, the second page is blank. That's all. If we're looking at the investment and deposit policy.
here we go.
Thank you.
I actually put the policy up for you.
Okay, so are we going to vote on each individual?
So both the investment report and the investment policy can be taken up as a matter together.
Yeah, on number 3, go back. Let's take a look at yours. Next set of numbers there, Linda. 2 and 3. Number 3, just another typo on there. Yeah. Sorry if I get particular.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I've just copied from year to year, so I will fix
Yeah.
that for you.
Like I said, these are nothing material or substantial. Just as you read through them, they pop up.
Not a problem.
Made a typo correction in paragraph number 3 of that policy. I think at this point it's ready for
Okay, so we're going to approve the investment and the deposit.
investment report and the investment policy. Yes.
So we are, I need a motion to approve our investment report and deposit policy going forward with our Warren County Local Development Corporation. Can I get a motion to approve our investment and deposit policy?
So move. Like
So
it.
moved by Supervisor Leggett. Do I have a second?
Second, Mike Wild.
Mike Wild, thank you. Supervisor Wild,
A discussion,
can we get a
Roll call vote.
roll call vote
discussion,
on this Supervisor Merlino?
Yeah.
discussion.
Mr.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Chairman, discussion.
So on the report to be uploaded to Paris, it does seem to be blank to me.
Yes,
Okay.
that information we sent out is blank at this moment. But we will be filling that in once we upload it. We're just showing you that this is the information that we have to send.
Any further discussion?
And this the policy itself that you just put up there, where can this be found? Was that one of these attachments?
Yes,
I'm looking for it. It's probably here.
WCLDC Investment Policy 3.18.21. It's a Word doc.
It's a Word doc.
Yeah.
would you like me to put it back up on the screen?
No, I'm looking for it here in the attachments. I'm sure it's here, but investments. Okay, I got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a motion on the floor?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Do.
Up for vote.
Now we have a roll call vote. Supervisor Merlino. Supervisor Leggett.
Yes.
Supervisor Wild.
Yes,
Travis Whitehead.
Yes.
Myself, yes. The issue is carried. Anything else on there, Linda, as far as needing a vote here today?
Yeah, there's
Yes,
several.
we have two more. The next one will be the procurement report and guidelines. I have put up the procurement policy for everyone on screen. And it was also included in your packet.
Can I get a motion to approve the procurement policy for our,
Procurement report guidelines.
Just the guidelines.
Yeah.
Exact language is procurement report and guidelines.
And that's a PDF. And is it a P? No, sorry, that's,
okay. So
I have it up on the screen right now.
thank you.
can I get a motion to get it on the floor? The approval of procurement report and guidelines.
So move.
Supervisor Leggett, can I get a second, please? Supervisor Merlino?
I'm a little confused trying to go through all this here.
Okay.
This is a lot that, just for the know for next time, the day before is tough. And if we just get them a little more numbered and that we can go right to them than shuffling through all this. But I will second it.
Any,
I'm sure it's right, but I will second it.
do we, any discussion from any board members?
Just to make sure that I'm clarifying, there's nothing that has changed in this from previous.
Yes, okay.
That's correct.
Can you, is this available on the website? I mean, it says on the report that this, basically all you're telling Paris is that this is available on the website. And when I went to the website, I could not find this, but I see it on the screen now. It's fine. Just make sure that it has a listing on the website, and I'm okay with that.
Once the meeting is completed and everything, all the forms that need signature, everything will be uploaded onto the website.
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Can we get, we have a motion and a second on the table. We'll have a roll call vote. Supervisor Merlino,
Aye.
Supervisor Leggett,
Yes.
Supervisor Wild,
yes,
Travis,
Yes.
and myself, yes. The matter carries. Our next is number 6, our approval of our annual audit report.
Actually, can I interrupt, Chairman?
Yes, please, Ken. Yes. Go
Okay,
ahead.
next one actually is the disposition of real estate property guidelines.
Okay.
Where is that?
Yeah, where is that?
That is
Oh, it's the third-
underneath procurement.
Why was that not part of the previous package under procurement?
It is,
So
but
did we,
it's a separate
did we
policy.
simply fail to include it in the wording when we were taking up that activity for procurement?
Yes,
Can we go back and simply modify that to include that? And it's part of that, part of the package.
yep.
I don't know. I'm asking.
I'll amend my, if we can, or let's just, is it easier to amend the motion or to just do a motion right now? And
I have to say, I don't know. County attorney?
Why not just, you could just do a new motion now and vote on it now. It's just this one matter.
I move that we accept the disposition of real property guidelines as presented.
Thank you. Can I get a second on that?
Mike Wild, second.
Mike Wild, seconded. We
Just
get
a
a,
question.
yes, please, go ahead, Travis.
Thank you. Do we have any real property? Just-
The LDC does not, that I believe, that I
Okay.
am aware of.
All right.
Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Supervisor Merlino,
Yes.
Supervisor Wild,
Yes,
Supervisor Leggett,
Yes.
Travis,
Yes.
myself, yes, the matter carries. So Linda, what is, do we have one more item left?
We have the approval of the 2020 annual audited financial statement.
Okay, and is that the last item on the agenda?
Yeah,
Then there's two other items that go along with this that will need to be approved as well.
Okay,
so I would suggest that we allow Lisa to walk us through at least a highlight of this. This is the core of what we submit.
Okay.
Represents the bulk of the work and expenditure that's overseen by the board.
okay. Before doing that, why don't we just get a motion to get it on the floor, please?
So moved.
That being Supervisor Leggett. Can I get a second on that, please?
I'll second it.
Supervisor Wild, thank you. Discussion.
Good morning. We concluded our audit with the independent auditors, and they had no findings, no areas of concern. Everything was very straightforward. We did spend quite a bit of time with the Audit and Finance Committee going over the statements line by line. If you can scroll down a little bit, Linda. Let's see. Yeah, that's the letter stating that they have no issues with any of our procedures or processes. Okay, so the statement of financial position is basically the statement showing you what our cash and receivables balances are, along with liabilities at the end of December 31st, 2020 versus December 31st, 2019. As you can see, we have in the total assets, we have a little bit higher than the previous year. However, we have a smaller cash balance. So basically, we've just transferred cash to the receivables line in the fact that we gave out two loans, one to Kirsch and one to another small business in 2020. In the statement of activities, basically this indicates monies that we've received throughout the year and expenses that we've incurred. As you can see on the revenue side, we have the $10,000 contribution from the EDC that will be going toward the housing study that the Warren County Planning Department will be initiating. The remainder of the cost of the survey will come from the LDC funds. We have interest and late fees on loans. You can see that that is down significantly from 2019, primarily due to the fact that many of the loans, or the majority of the loans, were put on hold because of COVID. We offered people some relief, and obviously we expect that to be back up to the normal figure for 2021. Program service fees is monies that we received from SUNY Adirondack as our participation in the Startup 80K program up there. And obviously the 50,000 is from Warren County. On the expense side, we have professional fees, which is our auditor. Marketing costs were newspaper advertisements that were placed to market the loan programs and specifically the COVID relief loan that we offered. And then the service contract fee of $50,750 was $50,000 to the EDC for management of the LDC and $750 for a survey that was done. I'm drawing a blank. What kind of survey was that again, Jim? I don't remember.
Sorry, I don't remember either, but
Yeah.
I believe it was associated with one of the housing activities of the LDC, and it was before I came into the job.
Right.
Yeah, you had explained it the other day when we went through this, so maybe it'll come back up.
Yeah. Actually, I can, I'm in the program. I could actually look and see. Going forward. Go ahead, Linda.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay, that's all right. This is the statement of cash flows. They are, basically it shows the net total of the cash received and cash spent throughout the year, 2020 versus 2019. You can see that in 2020, we have loans issued of $180,013, and there were no loans issued in 2019. That's probably the largest difference. The accounts receivable is simply payments that were received due to the LDC from Warren County for the vouchers that I had submitted. And accounts payable amount of 8,333 was the amount that the LDC owed to EDC as of 12/31, and that check was issued on January 6th. They were paid. I'm sorry. The purchase of investment and certificate of deposit, that's the interest portion that was earned on the CD in the calendar year 2020. And again, you can see the repayment of the loans receivable is down significantly from 2019. And again, that's due to the fact that the loans were put on hold. Go ahead, Linda, you want to go ahead? In regard to the notes, there was nothing outstanding in the notes. Keep going, Linda. A lot of it is the routine variable, the routine verbiage that a audit will create. Keep going, keep going. Oh, let's see. Did we go by, Linda? I just want to go to the note about the restatement for 2019. Nope, I think it's down farther.
One more.
Yes, okay. So this note number 7 would be the only unusual note that you wouldn't find in the prior year's audits. And the restatement of 2019 was a result of a entry that was booked indicating that Warren County would be funding the LDC $50,000 in 2019. And as we know, that didn't happen. So we needed to restate the financial statement to remove that receivable from the records.
But if I may, there's a great deal of documentation and discussion about this with the county when that occurred. So the question is not whether or not this was an overt and clearly deliberative decision. It's simply that the LDC's books did not remove it as a receivable in 2019. I cannot give you any insight because unfortunately that's a decision that was made by my predecessor and he's not here. But one of the things that I took responsibility for when I stepped into the role was to alert you of anything that needed to be addressed that was either unresolved or something that we had been carrying for some time. This is the first of what I expect to be probably more as we continue to engage, but there's nothing untoward here. This is clearly just aligning the financial statements associated with the LDC with the decision that was made.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. The $750 fee was paid to Sterling Commercial Appraisals, and that was in regard to one of our loans. We had to do an appraisal, and I believe it was in relation to renegotiating the loan or a balloon payment, something along those lines.
Is there anything else? that you want to note?
Not that I'm aware of.
Any further discussion of any board members? Any comments?
I would like to bring up a matter if I may.
Robert, sure, please do.
If I may. We do have a matter back in December. The Warren County Board of Supervisors passed a resolution number, I have it here, 454 of 2020. And that resolution, Warren County resolved to enter into a contractual relationship with the Warren County Local Development Corporation, which contractual relationship will authorize the Local Development Corporation to administer economic development programs and initiatives and grant and loan funding programs, micro enterprise loan programs on behalf of Warren County for the calendar year, January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2021 for an amount of $50,000. In order for the Local Development Corporation to enter into this contract, we would need a resolution from the board if the board so decides that the Local Development Corporation wishes to enter into this contract with Warren County.
Will that come before other business after we adopt the audit?
I would suggest that that's a matter of regular business by you as a board, and you can choose to do that today or in your monthly meeting.
And if you'd like, I can email copies of this to anyone who would like to have it. I'm pretty certain here, I probably apologize, I've not sent that out to too many people. I think I may have sent a copy to Mr. Siplon and to Ms. Oldenburg. I may not have even sent it to them. We have it here in our office. If you would like copies of this contract to review it, please let me know. I'm happy to email it out.
That would be great, Robert. If you'd be kind enough to do that, I think it would make sense to all board members, please. Thank you, Robert. Any further discussion on the audit issue?
Well, no, but having to do with what Robert just said, can we get copies of the contracts, other contracts that exist between the LDC and other entities such as Harris Beach and the EDC?
Well, the EDC is the contract he's referring to. In terms of Harris Beach, we have essentially a retainer agreement that we seek their third-party counsel. We can certainly provide that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second on the table to approve the audited report, the approval of the 2020 annual audited financial statement. Can I get a roll call vote, please? Supervisor Whitehead, or not Supervisor Whitehead, Citizen Advocate Whitehead,
Yes.
Supervisor Wild,
Yes.
Supervisor Leggett,
Yes.
Supervisor Merlino,
Yes.
and myself, yes, it carries. Any other business?
Did Gene go?
I
I
thought,
said yes.
yes, he said yes, yes.
Oh, okay.
Gene did indeed vote yes. Thank you.
Okay, didn't hear. Sorry.
Sorry, gotta make it loud.
Linda, is there any other business that needs to be moved?
No,
Does any board member have any comments or observations? Rachel, did you? Go ahead.
Well, I think as a sole member, I'm not technically a board member, so I'll wait if someone else has something. Unless it's okay. I mean, okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Thanks. I have to run for 12:30, but I just wanted to say that I certainly appreciate the reorganization. I know this is the annual meeting. Congratulations to all of you that are serving in your roles again for this year. I think it's really important that moving into 2021 that we look at LDC in an innovative way, especially under both Jim and Peter's leadership. I have some questions regarding required trainings, which I'll send over to Jim and Linda and copy Peter on that. just to make sure all of our members are aware of those different levels of compliance. I wanted to thank Robert Twilliger. He and Christy Miller went deep into the archives of the basement and have pulled out now the original corporation book. So we'll work on getting that updated with each year as a sole member, those minutes, but also getting that ready to go for however you end up looking at the LDC for next year. I do hope that you all take an opportunity this year to look at the structure of the LDC to see if it's still current in the way that we set it up and the overall mission, and have an opportunity to put your own customization on this and how you'd like to see it move forward. I'm here to support you in any way and look forward to the communication and brainstorming and helping in whatever way is appropriate for me to do so. But thank you for saying yes and for having a full membership on this board. I believe that for the first time in many years, we have full 7 members, and all of you are here for the 2-year terms unless you decide to resign. So I know that there's a lot of different legal interpretations of the bylaws that we've looked at between both Matt Fuller and Mary Kazane. And I look forward to Robert Twilliger coming on board and really taking a look at the direction that your board chooses to head in and supporting that in any way possible. So thank you for your commitment and your service for all of you on LDC. And Jim, I know that this will be a great year. We'll have some ups and downs, but I definitely think the idea of the LDC and what both our county and our representatives have envisioned has a strong possibility of just becoming even better than what it was.
Thank you very much, Rachel. Appreciate it. Does anyone else have any further comments? I hope not. Can I then get a motion to adjourn, please? Supervisor Merlino. Can I get a second to adjourn?
Second.
A second by Supervisor Whitehead. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Jim.
everyone.
Thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Jim, thank you.
Appreciate it.
It's a lot to change in a short period. You're working on it well.
I appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
This is hard, thankless work you do. And I do want us to get back to getting money into the community, focusing on how we can deliver value to